two seniors. We're recording this
Okay.
for our senior class here at Velma Jackson 2022. And we do have some great questions we're going to get to. And I know you have a presentation you want to share, but I'll let you have the floor and just tell us, you can take us through your journey from Velma Jackson to Hines to now Alcorn State University down in Lorman, Mississippi.
Okay, I got you. Let me share my screen really quickly. All right. So good afternoon. My name is Kennedi Miller. I'll be talking to you all about navigating the transition from high school to college today. About me, I grew up in Camden, Mississippi. I went to Camden Elementary, Northeast Madison Middle School, which is now Shirley D. Simmons Middle School, and Velma Jackson High School. In high school, I participated in a lot of different sports clubs and organizations. I played basketball, volleyball. I ran track. I did softball. I was in Beta Club, SGA, all that good stuff. Basically, if it was there, I was in it. So I tried to kind of branch out as much as I could in high school. And I graduated in May of 2020, and I was the first COVID graduation. If you guys don't know me, you probably know my mom. She's there now. She's Dr. Miller. She teaches math. I'm not sure exactly what math she teaches now, but she teaches math at Velma. So if you don't know me, you know my mom. My story. I graduated from Velma in May of 2020, and then I went to Hines Community College for free. I'm going to get into exactly how I went for free, but right now I just want you guys to know like the transition of, schools that I went through. I went to Hines for free. I became a student ambassador there where I gave tours. We worked very closely with the president of the college, and it had a lot of perks and benefits being a student ambassador. I maintained a high GPA at Hines. I joined Phi Theta Kappa. Phi Theta Kappa is a National Honor Society. It has a lot of perks as well. I think joining Phi Theta Kappa for me was probably like the highlight of my career at Hines. I'm sorry. It comes with a lot of scholarships. That's actually how I got to Alcorn for free. So while I was at Hines, I joined Phi Theta Kappa. I did a course overload, and that probably doesn't sound very pleasing to y'all doing more classes than you have to. But since I was doing dual credits at Velma Jackson, I already had a certain amount of college credits already on my transcript. So when I went to Hines, I did a course overload and graduated early. Instead of 2 years, I graduated in 1 year and graduated in May of 2021.
Wow.
So this past fall is when I started attending Alcorn State University, and I'm also attending here for free from the Phi Theta Kappa scholarship that I got from Hines, transferred to Alcorn, in addition to, federal aid and state aid that I'm getting to. So I haven't had to take out any student loans. Both of the schools that I've been to are paying me or have paid me. So I'm very, very lucky and blessed to be able to say that I don't pay anything out of pocket for college.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
What to do now? As seniors, there's a lot of stuff that you probably should have been doing, but it's not too late to start doing anything. But what you should be doing right now is keeping your GPA up. I think that's a given. Having a high GPA will kind of ensure that you get accepted into schools, and it also qualifies you for a lot of scholarships. That's big. Join different extracurriculars. Colleges in general don't really care about extracurriculars as far as getting accepted into a school. But as far as scholarships go, the more things you have on your transcript, the better you look, the more you stand out to other people. When colleges were reading my transcript and they saw that I did basketball, volleyball, track, cross country, softball, all the things that I was just listing on my resume, that kind of stood out to them. And so they definitely, I think I definitely had an advantage over a lot of my peers when it came to getting scholarships from the institutions that I've been to. Take the ACT. When I say take the ACT, don't just take it because you have to take it. Take it and actually try to study for it. The ACT, I'll get into this later more, but the ACT is not a test that tests your your how smart you are. It doesn't test your intelligence. It's your money test. Your ACT gives you money for scholarships. That's literally what it is. It's your money test. But we'll get into that later. Apply for scholarships. When I was applying for scholarships, I kind of started too late. I started my senior year, and that's not too late, but it's later than what you could be doing, you know. And my thing is, I wish someone would have told me that when applying for scholarships, to apply for the ones that were for different schools. What I was doing, I was going on Google, I was typing in scholarships for undergraduate degrees, and I was just applying to random scholarships for all over the country and all over the state, which it's not bad. You definitely can still get those scholarships, but I would say go to different actual university websites and see what scholarships they offer, what ACT score you may need, what GPA you need to get the scholarship, and strive to get those scholarships that are directly from the institution. Go on campus tours. If you guys haven't already been on a campus tour, you should definitely try to get to go to a campus tour, whether it's for a community college, whether it's for a state, an in-state four-year university, out-of-state four-year university, whatever school that you have been looking at, do not go to that school until you have had a campus tour. The campus tour tells you so much about the school. It shows you, you know, how far you may have to walk, or if you have a car, where you have to drive. It shows you how far the campus is from you know, the stores and towns, you know. So as far as Hines goes, the nearest Walmart was probably 15 minutes away. But at Alcorn, I have to drive 45 minutes to go to Walmart. So going on a campus tour is imperative for you to, you know, actually get a feel for the campus and a feel for the school before you go. And think about your major. I wouldn't say stress about your major, because I've changed my major 3 times. At first I was doing social work, then I changed it to sociology, and now biology pre-professional. So your major, just have an idea, but I wouldn't say just stress about your major. More focus more on going to college and starting off your degree, you know, getting those prereqs in, you know, the English classes, the math classes, and then your major will kind of come to you as you start taking college classes. But definitely try to have an idea before you get there. And last but not least is build a good relationship with your teachers. This kind of ties back into the scholarships. A lot of scholarships ask for recommendation letters. And if you haven't built a good relationship with a teacher, you don't have anyone to write your letter. And you don't want to go to a teacher and ask for a recommendation letter and they talk bad about you in the recommendation letter. That's kind of like just narrowing you down from the beginning. Like, that's like their teacher doesn't even want them to get the scholarship. Why should I give them the scholarship? You know, so build good relationships with your teachers, and try your best to keep a good positive image on yourself around the school. So even if you don't know the teacher personally, if you have to ask them to write a recommendation letter, they can speak on what they've seen. You know, they can speak on what they've heard about you. So that's very important. What I did wrong. These are things that I wish people would have told me before. I went to college and transitioned from high school to college, but there are things that I want to make sure I let you guys know. I started thinking about college a little too late. I didn't start thinking about actually going to college or filling out scholarships until the end of my junior year, beginning of my senior year. So I wouldn't say that's late, but it's a little late. Like, you should kind of be thinking about school and what you want to major in and how you're going to pay for it and all that good stuff, at least your junior year, you know. But if you haven't yet, it's not too late. And I'll explain that a little bit later as well. I had my sights set on one school. I had my sights set on East Mississippi Community College up in Scuba, which is down, you know, it's down Starkville, Columbus, that way. I had my sights set on that school, and I went and I hated it. I went on a campus tour and I hated it. I remember asking the tour guide, "What do you guys do for fun?" And she said, "We sit under the gazebo and talk." And at that point, I was like, no, that's not the school for me. I can't do it. So I had my sights set on one school. And then after I realized I didn't like it, I kind of felt defeated. I felt like I had to start all the way over and start from zero and try to figure out where I wanted to go to school. So definitely keep your options open, keep an open mind, and don't just focus on one particular school. I didn't apply to enough schools. I think I only applied to maybe 4 schools, and all of them were community colleges. Since I've been to a community college, I'm definitely more of an advocate for community colleges because I feel like they get they have a bad rep. But at the same time, everyone is different. You may want to go to a community college, but a 4-year is better for you, or you may want to go to a 4-year, but a community college is better for you. It all depends on you as a person and your study habits and what you're going to do or what you plan to do. So I didn't apply to enough schools, and I wish I would have. So I would have looked at the scholarships that I would have gotten. I didn't apply to the right scholarships. That kind of leads into that. I applied to, like I said, scholarships that were online. I looked on Google and searched up different scholarships that were, just open to anybody. Koch scholarships. Those are good scholarships to try to apply to. But at the same time, make sure that you're going straight to the source. Go to the school, the school website that you're trying to get into, and apply for scholarships that are for there. I didn't apply to enough scholarships. I had senioritis. I was going to class, getting my work done, and then wanting to go to sleep at home. But you should definitely take the time to at least fill out 1 or 2 scholarships a week, even if you don't have any on the actual school website. You should definitely go and find different scholarships and just apply. Like, applying will not hurt. That is money. That is money in your pocket sometimes. Like, even if my school is paid for, if I would have went and applied for scholarships, I could have had money in my pocket, just walking around with however much money in my pocket for groceries, gas, whatever you wanted to use. They're trying to give away money. So why not write an essay, put your name down, your number down, your email, and get money. It's free money, literally. And I remember Ms. Brown used to tell us that all the time. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's free money, but it's really free money. Like, it's money in your pocket, no work, just a essay. So definitely apply to scholarships. And I didn't study for the ACT. I realized that I used my knowledge that I already knew from classes to take the ACT, and luckily I made an okay score, a good enough score to get a scholarship. But if I would have studied for the ACT, y'all, I would have so much more money in my pocket from scholarships from the actual school. Just take the time, go to a couple prep workshops, ACT prep workshops. I don't know if you guys heard of Get to College, but
They've been on campus.
That's one of the biggest resources that I use navigating my transition from high school to college. So definitely use those tools that you have to study for the ACT. Go to the prep, the websites, workshops, all that good stuff. ACT is very important. And I didn't really have a plan. I was just kind of going by the blind eye. I was just, taking my chances, hoping for the best. But definitely get a plan for yourself and figure out what you want to do. What I did right. I was active in high school, which looked really good on my resume. I kept my grades above average, and I had an open mind, did my research, and I didn't give up. All those are qualities that you should try to have. I guess you guys see that I had more what I did wrong than what I did right, but the stuff that I did right kind of kept me afloat, if that makes sense. That kept me where I needed to be. So it's very important to do things right now in high school, and try to, focus on your schoolwork, have fun. Yes, it's your senior year, but definitely be looking at your next step, looking at, what's going to happen next. This is also what I was telling you guys about. The ACT does not measure how smart you are. It's a money test. If you go and take not even an hour a day, 30 minutes a day to do different ACT prep things or prep questions, it will improve your score, and improving your score I would say improving your ACT score is like money. The more points you go up, the more money you're getting. So the scholarship, like I said, that I got, I still was getting paid from the school, but if I would have gotten like 2 points higher, literally 2 points higher, I would have been getting a whole extra $2,000, $3,000 in my pocket. So that's just money, that you could be getting. So like I said, it doesn't measure how smart you are, it's just your money test. So let's talk about money. College is expensive. The average tuition cost, remember I have tuition in both, so it's just tuition. The average tuition cost of a public four-year institution in Mississippi is about $8,000 to $12,000 per year. So that's for a four-year institution, a public four-year institution. Private schools are most likely more expensive. The average tuition of a public two-year institution is probably $2,000 to $4,000 per year. And like I said, that's just the tuition. Tuition only covers the cost of actually taking the class, like actually going to class and getting homework and grades and all that good stuff. You still have other fees like room and board, meal plans, books, and etc. So college is definitely expensive, but there are different options to pay for college. There's federal aid, the FAFSA. You apply for that, and it kind of depends on your income tax, how much money your parents make, how much money you make if you have a job, and they'll give you money to help pay for school from that. There's also state aid, and there's scholarships and grants. Those are the three best ways to pay for college. But if you can't afford college just with those three, then you have loans. You see I have it in red because that's your absolute last option. You do not want to take out student loans. Most American adults spend, I would say, 30 to 40 years of their life, maybe longer, paying off their student loans, depending on what kind of degree they have, especially people with like doctorate degrees and master's degrees. Those that it costs money. And so I would say make sure that you're looking into scholarships and grants, because you can't really control federal and state aid. That just depends on your situation. But as far as scholarships and grants go, try your best to start, racking up scholarship money and getting money from these schools. They should want to pay you. They want you to come to their school, So make sure that you're applying for scholarships and applying for different grants and opportunities.
Yeah, and when you talk about the loans, I just had to add, a lot of these student loan companies, they're going to prey on first generation minority students because they know they really want to get to college, and those interest rates should be illegal. How they're legal anywhere in the world is mind blowing. So, and I know our bunch last semester, we spent a lot of time talking about that, but taking out a student loan is one of the biggest financial mistakes anybody can make on this planet.
That's so true. So true. And that was my goal going into school, was that I didn't want my parents to pay for anything, and I didn't want to take out any loans or pay for anything out of pocket. So for my undergraduate degree, I can say, even though I'm not finished yet, the scholarship that I'm on is covering 2 years. So I'm officially not going to pay for an undergrad degree at all. Wow. So that was my goal, and that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's get into choosing a school. There are so many options, and it really just depends on you as a person. But when you're choosing a school, you should probably look at the cost of the school. These aren't in any specific order, by the way. It depends on you as a person, what you value more. But the cost is definitely something that you want to look at. The available scholarships, if you're going to be able to pay for school, or how you want to pay for school. Majors and minors. You can't go to a school that doesn't even have the major that you want to do, and especially, and not even thinking about that, some schools have your major, but they're not accredited. And if you're not accredited, then you have a harder time getting a job with the degree that you have, because your major isn't accredited by an organization. Student life. Some people value student life more than others. Me personally, going into Hans first, I really didn't care too much about student life. But there is a big difference in coming to a four-year university when it comes to student life. Safety. I know some schools don't have police. Other schools do have police. Some schools have more security guards, and they're not as strict or not as qualified as actual police officers. So both of the schools that I've been to, though, Hans Community College in Raymond and Alcorn State University, both have campus police. They don't have campus security. The location and distance from home, that plays a big part. Are you trying to run away from your parents? Or are you trying to stay close to your parents? Class sizes. Some four-year institutions have smaller class sizes because of the way they do it, but others have huge numbers. Like there could be up to 300-400 students in one class. And I know that can be overwhelming for anybody coming from Velma Jackson because Velma Jackson is a small school. So I knew that going into college, I didn't want any huge class sizes.
Well, I'll tell you, and a lot of people have heard this, but when I was at Southern Miss, I had a class with 500 people in it. There was a
Yeah.
guy in the class with me I'd gone to high school with. I had known my entire life. I did not know he was in the class until the last day.
Wow. That's crazy. See, I couldn't do that. At Velma Jackson, you know everyone as they walk down the hall. If you don't know them, you've seen them before. When you go to a big four-year institution, you can see somebody every day and not know that you're seeing them because there's so many people around you. But the next thing that you should look at when choosing a school is athletics and extracurricular activities. If you're trying to get more involved on your campus, you should definitely look into that. And also for student athletes, you get scholarships for doing whatever athletics that you're doing, whatever sport that you play. So that could play a major role in choosing a school. The campus, would you rather have a smaller campus, a bigger campus? Are there things on the campus that you like versus you dislike? And career and support services. I didn't realize that career and support services was such a big deal, but especially when you come into a four-year institution, career support services will really help you navigate life after college. It's like they're kind of helping you move forward. Like this summer, I am attending an internship in California for 8 weeks, and
Wow.
I'm getting paid to do it.
Wow.
So if it wasn't for career support services sending those emails and sending these opportunities out to the students, then I wouldn't have the opportunity to go and get, something else to add to my resume while getting paid to do it. So these things are very important when choosing a school. You really want somewhere that has resources. You want to go somewhere that you like, that fits you. That's the most important thing. I get this question a lot. How is community college different from a university, right? And I've rated everything out of 10, okay? My experience at Hines Community College in Raymond, because they're different campuses. I went to the school in Raymond, and the cost was a 9 out of 10. It wasn't nearly as expensive as a lot of the other schools in the state. So that played a huge part in me going to Hines and Raymond. Student life is about a 6 out of 10. I would say it was a 6 out of 10 only because I didn't really try too much to engage in student life because I was really focused on that course overload and trying to get into the next step, which was at Alcorn. So other people, Hines is in Jackson. And so it's close to Jackson State. So if you really wanted to, the same things that were going on in Jackson State, you could be there. So student life is what you make it at a community college. You definitely have to work harder though, because you're at a different institution. But if you wanted to, you can definitely try and enjoy yourself, find things to enjoy yourself. And they also have different, they have a recreation program there where you have intramural sports and game nights and football game watch nights where they gave us pizza. We played pool in the game room, all that good stuff. It's fun. It's what you make it.
Yeah, and you also, I know you're being humble right now, but you also were in a video for Hines talking about the dorms and residence life.
And
that semester. But yeah, I mean, and I know you say you weren't involved, but also as somebody that used to live in Raymond, or not live, I used to work in Raymond. There's a couple places to eat you can walk to right off campus.
Yeah.
There's a Mexican place, a hibachi place.
Mm-hmm.
The Sonic, everybody hangs out there. So there are, other options to eat off campus as well in Raymond.
That's definitely true. Yeah, and I'm gonna get into that too. In the food choices, I know that's something that I put on here too. And the professors, I would say a 7 out of 10. They really engage with you, but like I said, you have to make an active choice to try to get engaged with them as well. You have to make connections with their professors. So they were really good. Class size is 9 out of 10. I never went into a class where I didn't see the same people, if that makes sense. I didn't really too much talk to everyone, but I definitely knew my classmates from different classes that I had. I didn't eat in the cafeteria, so I don't know because I was always walking across the street to the Sunny that was right there. There's also like a Dollar Tree right there. So wherever you want to, like at Hines, you could walk to wherever you wanted to go to eat. So I literally didn't eat in the cafeteria at all in Hines. That's really weird to say, but I didn't.
And
And
with the Sunflower over there too, they have an amazing breakfast.
I never went to the
Yeah,
Sunflower. I
the
didn't go to the
Sunflower out there
Sunflower.
by the same place as the Mexican place and the hibachi place. They make breakfast at 7 a.m. and it is incredible.
Okay. Okay.
So anybody going to the future, you need to look into that. It's good stuff.
Okay. In the dorm, it varies a lot. The dorm varies whatever college you go to because there's newer dorms and there's older dorms. So it just depends on where you are. But and there's different style dorms. There are community style bathrooms and private bathrooms. There's private rooms, double rooms. It just varies. And the location was a 7 out of 10 because, like I said, the nearest Walmart was like 15 minutes away, so I wasn't too far from civilization. My experience at Alcorn, cost 3 out of 10 is very expensive. Even though I haven't paid anything myself, I was so used to not paying as much at all at Hines that when I saw the cost at Alcorn, I'm like, wow, like the tuition at Alcorn is about the price that I paid in total at Hines. So there's definitely a big difference, but it also, like I said, depends on where you go. So that's my rating for the cost. Student life, 9 out of 10. There's always something going around on campus. There's always flyers going around, events on campus, off campus. Student life is definitely a 9 out of 10. You will enjoy yourself here. Professors, 6 out of 10. They're really helpful. I've made connections with 3 or 4 professors. I've only been here for 1 semester, and but like I said, that's what you make it because there's some people that have been here and are about to graduate and they can't find anyone to write a recommendation letter for them.
Wow.
So it depends on how you are, as a person and trying to make those connections with your professors. Class size is 7 out of 10. For it to be a 4-year institution, the class sizes are very, very good. I'm actually in a classroom right now and I can show what the classroom looks like. So this is a lab, but it's not bad at all. The cafeteria, 8 out of 10 is buffet style. I know at Hines is buffet style too, but the food here is pretty good. The dorm, like I said, it varies. Here, I'm in a new dorm with a roommate and 2 suite mates, and we all 4 share 1 bathroom. So I think that's really good compared to going and having a community style bathroom in a different dorm. So I would say it's pretty good. And the location is 3 out of 10 because we're so far in the woods. I'm used to it personally because I live in Camden. So, but other people aren't used to not being able to walk to different stores. So I would say it's about a 3 out of 10 overall. Is college for everybody? No. This is something I wish someone would have kind of explained, not to just me, but my entire class. It's not for everybody. It's not about whether or not you're able to complete college. It's about whether or not you want to or need to. It depends on what you want to do in your career or with your career. You need to make the decision based on your life plan. College degrees are definitely not as valuable as they were 50 years ago. A lot more people have college degrees now and aren't even using them. Some people have college degrees in biology and they're a retail management worker, so.
My mother has a degree in music education and she's a realtor.
See, that's what I'm saying. So you have to figure out what you want to do with your life and also roll with the punches of life too. So that's something that's very big. The average construction worker makes about $60,000 a year. And also the average loan officer makes about $60,000 a year. But who came out better in that situation is the construction worker because he most likely didn't need anything but maybe an associate's degree or not even probably just a high school diploma. But at the same time, it depends on what you want to do. He or she.
Or a 1-year certification. The 1-year certification programs at the community colleges will get somebody ready for a construction field immediately.
Exactly. That's very important to look at as far as what you want to do with your own life. So, and last but not least, these are my 3 most helpful resources that helped me throughout my college process. Get to college. You guys have already heard of that. BLS.gov and the official college websites. Of course, you want to go to whatever college that you're planning on going to. Go to the official website. And just kind of browse around, look at different clubs and organizations that you might want to join, look at different scholarships, look at the cost and tuition, look at housing, just look around and see what you like, what you dislike, and if it's the right college for you. That's it for the slideshow. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have some for the students, but I have some as well.
Okay.
First of all, that was absolutely spectacular. Very, very good information there. A lot of stuff that even I didn't know. So first of all, thank you for that. But
Thank you. Thank you.
first question I have is coming from and I asked Malcolm Walker the same question. I'll see if you say the same thing. Coming from a majority black school like Velma Jackson, and then going to a non-all black school at Hines, and then to an HBCU, how was that transition and variety aided you in growing as a student?
It's definitely opened my eyes. I would say that was a big thing. I know it's kind of a culture shock going into Hines because of some of the things I heard, some of the things I saw. But at the same time, it's helped me to see the diversity in the people of the country, mostly, the people of this country, mostly. In the student ambassador group, I can say that there were probably out of, I would say like 20 of us, it was 3 black girls and 1 black guy. So that was kind of a culture shock at the same time as well. I kind of felt myself changing a little bit. And it's not even just a bad or a good change. It's just a necessary change, I guess, because it kind of just opened my mind to different things that I wasn't really aware of, if that makes sense. And then coming back to an HBCU, it kind of just, I don't know. I'd say I'm more comfortable at an HBCU because, sometimes at Hines, even when you're like small things like in a group project or a group assignment in a class, there would be like small things that just wouldn't sit right. Like you didn't feel as comfortable as you feel at HBCU. And that was one of the big things in me choosing the HBCU. I definitely wanted to come here. But that's really all I can say about it. It just changes you and changes how you think about the country and see the country.
Yeah, and then even along the same lines, people think HBCU automatically is just all black, and that's not the case. Alcorn has a very big international population. You have people from, I think, 30 or 40 countries that I
have a classmate from New England.
Wow. You got it from all over the country, but, they're, from India and Africa and Europe, Australia, all over the place right there. And it's really a really cool experience to get to experience all those different cultures.
Yes, it definitely is.
And then also when you coming from Velma Jackson, and you talked a lot about your extracurricular activities, even if you're not going to play college sports, how did that stuff help you become a better student? Because some of them are like, well, I'm not going to be able to play college basketball, I'm not going to be able to do this, so I shouldn't even try. How did that make you a better student by being involved in so much stuff in high school?
So in high school, I honestly knew that I didn't want to do anything in college except for focus on my academics, even before I got to high school. When I started playing basketball in like 8th grade, I remember we had a basketball camp and they asked, raise your hand if you want to play college ball. I'm like, no, I don't want to play. But it does help you as far as different skills, communication skills, teamwork, leadership, all those different skills. It really does play a big role in when you have to, not even in just college, but in life, like different situations that you might be put in. And then at the same time, when you're a student athlete anywhere, at any level, that's a certain level of responsibility that you have to finish all your schoolwork and then go to practice and then eat right and then exercise and then do this and do that. So it kind of helps me navigate coming to college where the workload sometimes is a little bit more than what I was used to. If I wasn't doing my sports and things, I knew that I had time to get all these things done. So being able to have that good time management in high school helps me when I came here and be able to kind of juggle having fun and doing my work, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Now, I do have some questions from the students, and I'm sure you'll recognize most of these names. But the first one is from Carson Day, who's our Mr. Velma Jackson. And he asked, with the obvious exception of the college credits, what was the biggest benefit you got of the dual credit program?
I would say that the biggest benefit would be opening my eyes to how the classes were laid out or set up. I think before I started dual credits, I kind of thought college is just hard. Like it's just so hard. It's just so tough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Like that's college. And I guess it was really very intimidating for me. But after I took those dual credit classes, I'm like, this is just like high school, this is just like, what you're like, you're not going to start anything that you're not ready to start. High school is setting you up for college, and taking those college classes. I'm like, okay, if I can handle this, I can handle when I actually go to college. So I would say it helped me as far as my confidence in myself, as far as my intelligence, and also it gave me an insight on how college would be when I got there.
Oh, absolutely. Now this is from Tony Daughtry, and we've asked a few people this, and I love this question. Is what was it like being a well-known person in high school to transitioning to a college where you know no one?
Wow, that is a good question. I was literally just talking about this to Scott. It's crazy because I felt like COVID played a big part in that as well. Like I feel like my social life was kind of shaken by COVID. I went from being very outgoing. It's your senior year, so I'm not gonna say you're just top of the top, but you're top of the top, in high school. So you're not nervous about anything. Just go around, enjoy your senior year, and have fun. To going to a college where you're a freshman, where you're the lowest, you're at the lowest ranking, and you don't know anyone really. It does kind of, it's kind of like a culture shock at the same time. Like when I said about the HBCU and PWI, it kind of culture shocks you. It makes you kind of reach farther than what you're normally, like what you're used to. You have to reach and try to make those connections with different people and friends. You have to see that, okay, this person is taking 3 classes with me. I need to go ahead and get to know her, get to know him, so that we can help each other out and, be friends with each other and make these meaningful connections, So it is different. It does shock you a little bit, but at the same time, it makes you grow as a person, because when you're in a job, you have to do those same things.
Oh, absolutely. I always say you don't get to choose your coworkers unless you're the boss.
Right.
Now, this is Jasmine Williamson. She's Miss Velma Jackson. She actually had to walk out of the room for a second, but she came back. So she heard a little bit of this. But she's asking about your internship in California. Where is it and how did you get it?
Okay, so it's the UCI Irvine. So It's basically a STEM internship for, chemistry, chemistry majors, biology majors, that type of thing. It's a science internship. And this goes back to the career services, and also it goes back to the professors. My chemistry professor that last semester was my first semester there, and he sent it out from the career services. So he passed the message down, and he was like, you guys need to apply for this. And so I'm like, okay, I'll think about it, because, I'm like, okay, they're paying me, so I might as well go ahead and try to do it. I applied online, and I kind of was like, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to apply for it. That kind of thing, which is not good. So do not do that. If you're going to apply for something, do it fully. But it was several different steps to the application process. And I only did the first step, which is the online application. That was the easiest part. I had to write three different papers. They weren't long. They're probably like half a page a piece. And then I had to get recommendation letters. I didn't want to do that part, because that part was a lot for me, knowing that I had other college work due at the same time. But my professor told me, Kennedi, I am a part of this board for this scholarship, and my colleagues are really interested in you. Would you please go ahead and finish up the application? And when he told me that, I kind of like, okay, opened my eyes, like I might actually get the scholarship. Let me go ahead and do it. And I typed the papers up. I got Ms. Brown and Ms. Thompson to write my recommendation letters. That goes back to making good relationships with the teachers in high school. Got them to write my recommendation letters and sent it in, and got an email over the Christmas break that I got the internship. And like I said, it's paid. It's in California. He says they're going to take us to different events, because they want us in California.
Yeah.
These people want intelligent Black students at that, to diversify their environment and kind of just add to their programs. The scholarship doesn't just include the $5,000 stipend. It's also, after you complete it, you're eligible for master's degree scholarships in California as well.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I could, if I play my cards right and I want to, I don't know if I want to go there or not, but if I play my cards right, I may be able to go to get a master's degree for free as well. That's just, making these making these connections with your professors, and also having a good career services program at your school. So
real quick,
that's kind of how I got it.
Question. I'll tell you two things. One, I had a friend who went to UC Irvine. You're going to be ready to experience Asian culture. But two, I have a friend in Irvine, California that is an Alcorn State alumni, and she works in cancer.
Wow.
I'll be glad to get you in touch with her. Just I'll do it whenever we get done here.
Most definitely.
This is Derek Bush. And I don't know if you mentioned this, but what was your major at Hines? I said you changed your major 3 times. Did you major at community college, or did you just do the general studies and then change it at Alcorn?
I changed it twice at community college, and then once right when I got back to here, I changed it. Oh, I didn't change it. I had general studies first when I got there. Then I added social work. Realized that I could do that outside of my degree. I could help my community outside of my degree, and then change to sociology because I was still fascinated with the study of social interaction. And I still just didn't feel like it fit me. So when I got to Alcorn, they asked me, over the summer, I changed it actually, because when they asked me, what is your major? What do you want to major in when you transfer here? I told them biology. And they said biology, because there's different branches of biology to major, pre-physical therapy, pre-professional. There's so many different branches, but, I chose pre-professional. Hopefully I want to be a pediatric dentist.
Yeah, and Alcorn has a nursing program as well in Natchez.
Yes.
It's one of the up and coming ones. I've had a few friends that went through it and were very pleased with it.
Yes, I have a couple friends that are there too.
It's got 2 more from the students, but this is Isaac Thomas, and he asked, "What is your favorite thing about Alcorn?"
Favorite thing about Alcorn is student life and family, like the family that it is here. I know, like I said, student life. We have so many flyers up every week to do this. There are different modeling groups. There are, you have the SGA trying to do different events. All the sororities in Greek life are doing different events. Everything is just it's like there's always something to do. There's always something fun to do. On Wednesdays, there's Club Cab. Club Cab is, I would say, the best. I haven't really gotten to experience it fully because of COVID, but even just for homecoming, I think that was the closest thing to Club Cab that I've gotten, where like you go in there and you're eating your fried chicken, you're eating your macaroni and cheese, your baked beans, greens. I mean, not baked beans, I'm sorry, black eyed peas, greens, and a cornbread muffin. And you go sit your plate down and you see Greek strolling to a DJ over there on the side. Like it's literally Club Cab. It's like a party and you're eating. Like that's like, I feel like that's probably the best experience I've had here so far was that day. You have everyone doing line dances. It's just, you have to be here to experience it. And I don't know, they had a high school day, I think the last Wednesday, where they had a Club Cab. There are a lot of buses here. When you schedule a tour for Alcorn, do it on a Wednesday. Definitely try to do it on a Wednesday. That's the best time to do it. But yeah.
It's our excused absences. So as long as you have that you were at the school, it is an excused absence at the school. I've got one more from the students. This is Janisa White, and she asked, "What is the best mindset to have when you're making a college selection?"
The best mindset, I would say, of course, keep an open mind, but also be determined. Have tunnel vision. Know that if you want to go to school, I'm not saying that everyone, like I said, needs to go to college, because it's not for everyone. But if you know you want to go to college for what you want to do, tunnel vision. Don't let anything stop you. Student loans you don't want them, but if you know that that's your only option, tunnel vision. Go in and know what you want to do. Not know what you want to do, but know that you want to go to school. Don't let anything stop you. If you don't get this scholarship, apply for another one. If you don't get this internship, apply for another one. Keep going, keep trying. Like that's like the biggest thing. And I would say don't take any breaks. Most of the time, if you take a break from college, like you take a semester off, you don't come back. Don't take any breaks. Like I said, tunnel vision, keep going. Try your hardest and keep going.
Absolutely. Well, Kennedi, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much. And I think, first of all, that was a great presentation. Second, I speak for so many people here at Velma Jackson by saying we're just so proud to call you an alumni. It's amazing what that class of 2020 was able to accomplish, and you're just such a great example for all the kids here. But before we go, you were in the same school with the same teachers, walking the same halls, sitting in these same chairs. Mm-hmm. But yet, you're talking about going to Irvine, California, and you're going to college for free. So you came from the same community, but yet you're doing some amazing things. So what can they do now to follow in the footsteps of people like you and Sky and Raja and some of the other people in that class?
Be determined. Set your goals for yourself and make them reachable, but make yourself have to reach for them, if that makes sense. If you're not scared of your goals, then they're not big enough, you know? So like when I said I didn't want to pay for school at all, I'm like, am I really going to be able to not pay for my undergraduate degree? Like that's a lot of money that I'm not going to pay for. Am I going to be able to do that? And I did it. When you set goals for yourself, you're more likely to achieve those goals. Don't just say, oh, I might do this, or I think I want to do that. No, say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it in this amount of time. You know, set these goals for yourself and be determined in what you want to do. That's my biggest thing. When I was there, I set a goal that I wanted to be in the Hall of Fame. So the picture, that's what I wanted. And I'm up there. And that was a big thing for me. So whatever goals you set for yourself, you're going to accomplish them. I believe in all of you all. I was in y'all's shoes. I was sitting there. And I'm proud of y'all for making it this far. Some people don't even make it this far. But Velma Jackson shaped me into the person that I am today. And hopefully it's still shaping you all into who y'all are and who y'all are going to be. And I know that there are nothing but big things coming from you guys. So that's my biggest thing.
That's awesome. Again, thank you for adjusting the time for us because we had to change because of our schedule. But thank you so much. I know you're really busy, and
No problem.
I will definitely get in touch with you. I got to talk to my friend in Irvine. That is somebody to get connected with.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
See you.
All right, bye guys.